Michael will do it. So, Michael, are we on? Michael tells me.
There we are. There you
Are
go.
we on?
Hi, folks.
We live?
Craig Gandy's going to join us here.
This is not Greg
Gabriel
Hamilton.
must have had a warrant or something. Maybe hell, he want to show up at the shoot down here.
No, this is bait and switch. You told me, I told Greg Hamilton was going to be here. Instead, I get Michael. What's going
Well,
on here?
Greg Hamilton, I guess he's busy or something, so he didn't
He is.
show up anyway. I appreciate you coming down here to talk with us.
It's great to be here. Let me just put this on silent.
Oh boy.
So I've been running late, guys, and I didn't have time to. I just finished working out with my troops.
Well, I went ahead and left my peaceful street friends and all that at home tonight.
Oh, bummer. We just enjoy them so much.
I figured so, but I figured we'll enjoy them next show or
Okay,
next time. I know we did say we'd have you on more than once a year, but it's been over a year, so I figured come on down.
We come
I know you've
whenever
been
you
busy.
guys need us. It's been really busy. It's been a
Well,
busy year.
I was going to try to be pretty much softball with all this because I did want to appreciate you and all you've done because we've been involved with the flood zone
No, it's
pretty
horrible.
heavy.
It was a pretty bad situation. It's just, I don't think that Austinites appreciate just how devastating that flood was to the Onion Creek neighborhood. I don't think that they can appreciate it unless they went down there and saw it with their own eyes. It was
Yes,
really
sir.
sad for me that a week into this thing, the Red Cross had received about $28,000 in donations, in cash donations. When you're talking about over 1,000 houses that have been impacted, that's not near enough.
No, I figured there was 1 square mile that was really badly damaged and another square mile that was slightly damaged, but
And this is the second time because it happened in 1990, most recently.
at the same area.
The same area. That's when I was.
I didn't think it was this bad.
Well, the city at that time was thinking of
You
buying
had to bring your LULAC button.
my LULAC. I thought the chief was going to bring all his brass,
Thank
so
you.
I said, I better
You better put on your dog.
mine on.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, yeah, because I remember when Commissioner De Leon, that's when we were in office and we had the same situation. It wasn't as bad,
No.
but it was the same area. They did some repairs, but apparently not enough.
Well, this was, when you think about what happened, we received 15 inches of rain downhill, downstream from us in a very short period of time. And that was like, it was like a huge wall of water just coming our way. And there's just, the thought of 15 inches of rain. I was in Puerto Rico not too long ago, and they told me, hey, we had a really wet month. Really, how many inches? They said 9 inches. Well, we had 15, we being Central Texas, had 15 inches in a matter of a few hours, which is unprecedented for us.
That's what they call it, flash flood, I guess, huh?
Right.
Absolutely.
I know they didn't. Well, we did a show with it. I wound up with, I think, almost 200 pictures on my Facebook page about it from the show.
No.
And we had the neighborhood association down and all that. And I wanted to mention that to you about you because I got some pictures of you. You didn't know you were in.
Oh, I didn't. No, where are they at? You got it?
Because that was part of the thing. There's a lot of people that may do photo ops. But he was sweating.
Yeah, we were there for quite a while.
And there was no cameras
For a
around.
few days now.
Yeah, but somebody got a picture of you with no cameras around. We're going to show it here in a minute, I think.
Yeah. Well, listen,
Well,
as a police chief, when our residents are hurting, we need to be there, and I need to be there. I think it sends an important message that the folks in that neighborhood matter. They don't just matter to me; they matter to the Austin Police Department. I was really disappointed. I heard that Debbie Russell was putting on her Facebook that we were an occupying army. Just leave it to Debbie Russell to complain.
That's your friend.
Well, I think so. The more she speaks, the less credibility she has. This is the woman that when we had an officer murdered, she put on her Facebook, Jaime Padron, curiosity killed the cat, ego killed the cop. What did Jaime Padron do besides go there to serve? So she writes on her Facebook that we were an occupying army. Now you go talk to those residents and ask them how the Austin Police Department has conducted themselves. When you look at these widespread natural disasters, a lot of times what will happen historically is that a bunch of looters will move in within hours and start taking advantage of people. We didn't have any. Why? Because there was a huge presence of the Austin Police Department.
There was an occupying army.
There was an occupying army. I had people come up to me saying, your officers have been wonderful. They gave us rides to get gas, to bring it back. if that's an occupying army, guess what? Sign me
I
up.
like to take a lot more of that occupying.
Sign me up.
That's right.
There was,
Well,
I
to me,
did
it-
mention
to
it,
me,
take you
it's,
arrest first, ask questions later. There was no
No, that.
Go ahead.
But, anytime an agency like this one makes themselves that available to the community, in my opinion, that's meeting their mission, their objective, their whole goal.
That's
right.
As an entity within this government, and that is providing the resources to, for situations like this, where they find themselves.
I don't
Absolutely.
know if you're gonna play it in pictures or not, but
And that's why they built that bridge, now that I remember. That bridge over there on,
yeah, they heightened it.
Trying to remember it.
Well, I thought that was a,
on
that was a
William
long.
Cannon. That's why they built that bridge, because of that flood. Right after that, I remember,
Building it.
When my computer boots up, I'll show pictures of the flood.
Oh, okay, I don't want pictures of flood, I emailed you 4 pictures of the chief.
Well, then I'll show them when I get there.
I'd like to see those pictures. Can you email them to me? I love to see them.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Well, one of the things that we did that I thought was really important, we have a cadets are really, they're impressionable, they're young, they want to serve. And so what we did is, several days into the flood, called my chiefs and said, hey, I want all the cadets. I want the police cadets down here. So they went down there, and the first thing they did is they passed out, they scoured the entire neighborhood to tell everybody, hey, there's going to be a meeting tonight. Remember we had that town hall meeting on that, I think it was on a Monday, right?
The elementary
It
school
was on
there.
Monday at Perez Elementary. And then all of a sudden, when they were done with that, I said, well, we need more missions. We started finding little old ladies that this is 3 or 4 or 5 days into this thing, had not been able to take a single destroyed item out of their homes. And the first step to recovery is you got to get everything out. So it was awesome to watch these young cadets putting on their gloves and getting dirty. And I remember one of the lieutenants was complaining, hey, they're not dressed, they were in their dress like their cadet dress uniform. I go, listen, they're going to learn that it's okay to get dirty. That's what dry cleaners are for and laundromats are for. That's right. But to see these kids, these young men and women, they weren't complaining. They were smiling. They were having a great time. And I think it was a really important lesson for them that policing is not just about taking people to jail. That's right. Policing is not just about writing tickets. It's about being there for the community when they're in need.
That's
I
right.
hope
Serving.
I hope they continue that when they get on the force.
Well, they do. I mean, listen, Michael, I get more letters from people about my cops changing tires. Think about that for a minute.
I know. Yeah.
Changing tires. Have you seen my guys changing tires? I dare you to go around the most major American cities. Come to my office. I will show you all these letters I get about my guys and ladies stopping to change tires on the freeway. I gotta be honest with you. I was never much into that because it's I think it's dangerous. I'd rather, hey, let's call you a tow truck,
Right.
so we can do it quickly and get out of here. But you know what? God bless them. They do that, and it just sends a strong message about their hearts.
So maybe I could say, call Art.
Yeah, call Art. Okay, all right.
I think maybe that's what the sheriff got mad about, because we teach him
Yeah.
about that. Call
It's so bad that you have to bring your own water at the trailer park. So they didn't have water anymore.
Hey, I got candy for you.
yeah, we had candy. There are the
There we
pictures.
go.
There's one picture.
Oh, cool. Where'd you guys get that?
Some of the people down there took those pictures. There you are, cutting off from the. Well, that's
That's me
too
right
much
over
side
there. Yeah, I'm the one by right. Yeah.
I can barely see you back there.
I got to tell you, one of the city teams that I was really proud of working with them is the solid waste folks, the garbage guys. And
I
those
can believe the
guys,
garbage truck was out there.
oh, those guys were fantastic, man. Oh, they were fantastic. They were just the salt of the earth. They worked their tails off, and they were just phenomenal. Yeah, that was, that's,
One of the residents.
yeah. I
Probably
need to-
taking a break, trying to goof off a little while there, wasn't you?
Well,
his hands are out there working.
having
don't
worked,
recognize
having worked for an elected official, you don't always satisfy everyone, because had y'all not been out there, then you would have been criticized
Oh,
for not
absolutely.
being out
Absolutely.
there. So it's a darn if you do and darn if you
Yeah.
don't. But I think that a lot of the community out there in Dove Springs really, really appreciates all that was done out there under your leadership.
Well, it's a community of working Austinites, and a lot of Hispanics that, a lot of people don't realize, we set up a checkpoint right away, and the only reason we did that, we wanted to limit it to people that needed to be there, that had business there, to avoid the looting, to avoid, one of the things I also was hoping to avoid is all these fly-by-night thieves that come in to promise you they're going to fix your home, and it's all a bunch of fraud. But about 4 days into
Give me
it,
down payment.
Well, about 4 days to it, what I started finding out, because there's a lot of immigrants out there, that they weren't getting help because some of their friends were unlicensed, and they were afraid that about the
gonna get
checkpoint.
arrested.
So what we did is we immediately that day opened up the streets and just saturated the area to make sure.
Two or
we
three
didn't have
checkpoints right out. I mean,
Yeah.
Gable had a little problem, because
Yeah.
we were going in there to volunteer, to help out and to drop some supplies off
No,
to
but when
Quicksilver.
they saw you walking there with showing up with your oxygen
Yeah,
and your
well,
cane and
hold
stuff,
on,
they go,
hold
"This
on.
guy's going to end up he's doing great work, not not help out."
Yeah, they almost like to want to turn us around, because they had three, the one going in, and then on Quicksilver, they had another one.
Yeah, yeah. But it was great, and George did a great job. The neighborhood association did a great
George
job.
Morales, the third there.
They were fantastic.
Deputy Constable Morales, yeah.
Yeah, and
They all did.
yeah.
He didn't have a choice because he lives in that area.
So what's going on with you? When am I going to get this man to support me on universal background checks? Michael, come on, are we getting closer?
No, sir. I
We-
will
he
never
will
support
never
you
support
on
you on-
universal background check.
But how do we determine if somebody is? Would you agree that the law allows for certain people not to possess firearms?
No, what I think.
Well, since we were going to talk about guns on part of this, we might as well go there right
No,
now.
let's go to it.
What I think we should do is focus on.
Mental health.
No, we can
That's
do that.
pot.
We can
That'll
do that,
come
but
later.
We also need to focus on those people that are walking to the gun store and being able to sell a gun to the gun store.
He's
that's
got a point
stolen.
there.
We need to talk about that. I thought we were meeting with that on that.
I'm waiting on your office.
No, you need to email me directly, and we're going to set up that meeting.
Okay.
Because when you call us and there's a guy there with a stolen gun, we need to come in and arrest him.
Right.
For possession
I
of stolen
think, 'cause I
firearm.
think the only thing that we can do right now is either dial 911, which is not what 911 is supposed to be used for.
We want to know.
Right.
Call 911. I'm here to tell you, call 911.
But I have no way of checking, so I'm going to call 911.
Oh,
and
you,
I'm not
oh,
sure
you,
yet.
oh, I
have
should,
no
you
way
got
of
to be able to
verifying.
confirm it.
Correct.
I
need to
got you.
verify it. So there's no system set up for a gun store to verify.
That's
that.
a really-
It's all set up for the pawn shops. Well, it's not even really set up for the pawn shop, but a
You
pawn
know-
shop, they can actually, they'll hold on to that firearm for a certain amount of days before they release it.
Yeah.
And then you guys have access to their database, but there's nothing for a gun store at all.
You know what, I think we can work on that. Let's make that a project together. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
If you have instant background check, why not instant serial number?
Well, yeah, we'd like those instant background checks. We'd like it universal.
No,
Well,
we
you
don't
got
need-
one, don't you?
No,
Gotta-
because then universal leads to registration. And
Oh, here
registration
we go.
leads to confiscation.
Oh, wait.
We don't
No,
have
we
a
can't
Okay,
go for
they
that.
will
Need
I will
registration.
never support confiscation
Right.
of firearms from law-abiding Americans,
They said that
period.
in New York, and look what's happened in New York.
Well, that's New York. This is
Good
Austin,
point,
Texas.
Chief, it's a slippery slope.
You know what? You worry about the slippery slope. Like I said, the excuse of the slippery slope should not be used for common sense laws.
I used to always say that they weren't going to ban firearms either, and then that's what we've been doing, talking about this last year or so, banning this and banning that.
Well, that's
I know you want to get in here.
No, I just want to say, I remember when I used to ride around with my grandfather. He used to carry his shotgun in the back of the truck on the window.
On the Easy Rider right
Yeah,
back?
yeah, two of them.
Did they ever fall on your head or anything?
Oh, no.
You guys don't have a sense of humor. I saw a joke and would even laugh.
And then some people are asking online. I got a question online. I'm not going to ask that question there. That's kind of.
Oh, are you the moderator here?
No,
Where are my
Yeah,
glasses?
no.
That's my Facebook page.
I don't have
Some people
telephone
asking the
number
question
for you, man.
that you always go around the different groups talking about, the universal background check, and
Oh,
also
are these
talking
mine?
about
No, it's for mine. You can.
talking about handguns and like you just said, that universal background check, maybe a registration or something like that. Is there any part of the concealed carry, the program that we actually have here in Texas that you support?
I support the concealed CHL holders. I think that I have actually talked, when I went to Congress and talked about the universal background checks, one of the things I held up as a model is Texas CHL holders, and the fact that we actually take gun ownership very seriously here in Texas. And to me, that's a model. But again, that's law-abiding citizens that take the time to learn about firearm safety, that learn about the laws, and that when they get those firearms are probably going to be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
But it seems like you're only taking that message to those organizations who are trying to ban firearms, like Moms Against whatever they call themselves. You're not actually going to the other
county
organizations.
Like which ones, who would you want me to talk to?
Well, you're focusing on one side. Like, what about, have you ever talked to the Texas State Rifle Association?
No.
How about Open Carry, those people?
Open carry, we talk on Twitter a lot. They like the Austin Police Department.
But-
I'm not a big I'm not too
Maybe
crazy
at some
about.
of the events.
Open carry is something I'm probably not going to be too.
Support.
I don't know, man.
Well, that was another one I was gonna
I
do.
think the law. I think that to me, cops carry guns. Everybody knows they're armed, and they get murdered all the time. And I don't know if that's. To me, the element of surprise is better for you than a guy that knows that wants to take you on, sees you armed. Action beats reaction, right? I'd rather be that concealed guy where the guy's going to think I'm an easy target, and may come up with a knife and bring a knife to a gun battle than a guy that decides to take the shot because he sees me armed. So there's pros and cons to everything. I don't really believe that, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. I don't believe that we should say that an AK-47 is the problem or an AR-15 is the problem. I think that the firearms in the wrong hands is the problem. And so if we can get by that issue of the slippery slope, right? If we can get past that, and I really believe that we did a better job of keeping guns out of the wrong hands, including mental health issues with some of the folks, some of the straw purchasers.
And here in Texas, we actually are doing that. We don't have this problem like they have in other states. There are certain things, especially in Texas. I think some of those things should be states' rights. So here we actually have a good program. We have a good system set up. So why don't we just stick with that system because it seems to be working for Texas?
Because I still think that at gun shows we still have a problem. That the wrong people are still buying guns at gun shows that they don't have to show anything. There's unscrupulous. Listen, there are people like you that are responsible gun dealers. That if you thought a guy was I would hope that. Well, actually, you're an actual gun dealer, but I don't believe in a minute that if a guy came in and told you, "Hey, man, let me buy a gun," and you thought the guy was a prohibited purchaser, that you would sell it to him even if he offered you 20% markup.
No, I probably hit that silent alarm.
That's my point. You see, but the problem is, Michael, is that there's a lot of people that for the buck will sell it to anybody. They'll sell it to the cartel, they'll sell it to anybody. And to me, we protect the Second Amendment, and we protect and fight off people that want to ban weapon systems from everybody instead of from prohibited purchasers by doing a better job of dealing with prohibited purchasers and keeping them out of the prohibited purchasers' hands.
Hold on, I just got to stop for a minute here now. Selling them to the cartel. Being in my party, Politica, we know where the largest number of guns at the cartel come from. Well, they come from America, and they come from this Fast and Furious thing.
Well, there are some issues
I also
there.
have lots of, we sold Honduras military 300 M16s, and they wound up missing.
No.
And then they turned up in Mexico with
Yeah, well, we
3,000
have
rounds.
we have to worry. I can only worry about policies that acting controls are for. The selling of firearms to a foreign military that's a foreign policy issue.
Right, but when you
It's
make
out of
the
my
statement
hands.
about the unscrupulous buyers
No.
selling them to the cartels, our own government's been.
Because the majority of people that are actually selling guns in gun shows are actually FFL dealers.
And they're not allowed to.
There are very few people that walk around, hold up that sign, selling that, that personal firearm. But they can do that anywhere.
Right.
They don't have to do that at the gun show. They can do it in the parking lot of Walmart.
But it's a lot easier. But if you go start selling guns at Walmart, what's going to happen? What's Walmart going to do more than likely?
And the parking lot probably kick you off the property.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can go somewhere else. So you can do it anywhere as a private individual, do that private sale. So the gun show, I don't know, I think that's just this big, this fallacy of trying to shut down the gun show.
But would you agree that I don't want to shut down gun shows? I used to go to the Pomona Gun Show on a regular basis in LA County, which is probably one of the largest gun shows in the country. I don't know if you've ever been there. Huge gun show. I think you should be wary of the government. I mean, I'm part of the government. I can tell you that, you should be wary of the government. We see things going on all the time. But with that said, I just really believe that if we don't do as a country a better job of keeping guns out of the wrong hands, I would ask people to tell me with a straight face that they think we're doing our very best job. I don't think we are. And
Do you really think it's a problem here in Texas, though? Seriously.
No, but I think that people are
So if
getting
it's not a
guns.
problem in
But
Texas,
here's the
why
problem.
do we continue that
because there are
same-
guns being bought here in Texas. They're ending up in Chicago.
No.
Oh, yes,
I haven't
they are.
heard any reports of that.
I will get you a report.
Okay. Yeah, because I'd like to see that.
Yeah, and again,
we have a good system set up here in Texas.
And I'm about to
that-
cut down on too. Houston, Chicago have a lot of similarities, yet there's not a fraction of the crime in Houston there is in Chicago.
Right.
So
Well,
maybe if you'd open a few
Houston's
gun shops in
got-
Chicago,
Houston's got some
It's got
issues.
some
I
bad
mean,
crime,
yeah,
but
some
not like
issues, but not
Chicago.
like Chicago.
No,
Right.
Houston's got some
Not like Chicago,
significant
not like
challenges.
DC.
Not like Austin.
And if I can go back one other
We
thing
don't have those
there,
problems. We're a safe city.
from the Texas sheriff once said, and it's the truth, there's only one solution to bad people with guns, Chief.
That's exactly right. Let's keep them out of their gun. Let's keep the guns out of those bad
good
people.
The only solution is good people with guns.
I agree. So what we should do is make sure that we have a system in place that keeps guns in the hands of good people and out of the hands of bad people. That's just that you'll never change my position on that.
Okay.
It's just to me common sense. And I get it, and I guarantee you that if we don't give in, and I'm a proponent of the Second Amendment, to some common sense stuff, that there will come a point where some of those things that we fear will come to fruition. It will. I mean, it's just a matter of
Like what? What are we talking about?
no more selling, no more selling high capacity magazines.
Alex Jones stuff come true?
No, I don't know about Alex Jones. Okay, Alex Jones. Let's keep it real.
It probably will, but without a big fight, because we're definitely gonna fight that here in Texas, because we don't think that's a problem.
Yeah.
I don't think a 15-round magazine is really
No.
a problem.
But I think a weapon with a 15-round magazine in the wrong hands is a problem. And so that's
Anything in the wrong hands.
That's
is a
exactly
problem.
right.
A car can be the
You
same.
know,
I mean, our biggest problem here in Texas is going to be people that are getting, being killed.
we
in
make
automobiles.
people, to go buy alcohol if you're underage, you got to show that you're over, you're over 21 or over. It just, to me, it's a little inconvenience. A little inconvenience to say, here's my license, here's who I am, run me to make sure I'm not a prohibited gun purchaser. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not a proponent, and I'm part of Major City Chiefs, which is the 50.
And we do that every time someone walks into the
I know
gun
you
store.
do, but there's
We do that.
places in Texas where you don't have to do that.
What else
and
would you
that's-
like besides that?
I'd like a pay raise. That'd be nice.
I don't think you need a pay raise.
Yeah, I mean,
the Austin Police Department is the highest paid
no,
police
no, no,
department,
no.
one of
Have
the
you seen
highest
many
paid police
hours?
departments
Do
in
you
the
know how
country.
much- how many hours I
One
work?
of the highest paid police departments in the
Listen,
country.
Cargill, you can apply.
No,
It's
sir.
available to you.
No, sir.
You're not. You'd be a great
I
cop.
make
We've
too-
had this
I
conversation.
make more money than you do. So
That's
I
the
don't want
problem.
to pay cut.
You see what I'm saying? And the man works 40-hour work weeks. Do you understand what I'm talking about? And he says, I don't need a pay cut. Doesn't get beat up on TV all the time.
No, sir.
Has privacy.
Yes, sir.
The only time he doesn't have privacy is when he puts himself out there in front of Fox News or whatever.
That comes with your position and what you're doing.
Yeah, but I love what I do. I absolutely, I quit law school to be a police officer out of a sense of a real desire to serve a country that gave my family the greatest gift of all, which is freedom.
I
and,
have other Cuban friends.
Yeah, I mean, I love this country.
And also, what I would like to see, like all
I
that
don't know why all
stuff,
the Cubans are like that.
all the stuff that we were talking about,
Patriotic?
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, we are.
all the stuff we're talking about with the police department and how with
And
APD and their
Republican.
interaction
Most
with the
of it.
community. I
Yeah.
really would like to see some of that stuff on regular stops. Their interaction with the community. Downtown 6th Street, just pulling someone over. Maybe for a traffic stop or something like that. That same level of interaction.
What interaction are you talking about?
I don't think we're a lot of people are just complaining. They're not getting that same level of professionalism.
Yeah, every one of our traffic stops is videotaped. If you don't think that you were treated fairly, file a complaint. It's on video. File a complaint. It's on video. I would like to see in the next 3 years every one of my patrol officers that have the cameras on their bodies. Now, some places, civil libertarians don't want them because they think it's a violation of civil rights. They're worried about. There's a debate right now is with these on-person cameras. So, some folks are saying, well, then the cop comes into my house for, a call, and so there's a big debate about the privacy issue. So I think there's some work that has to be done there because I predict in the next 5 years, in the next 5 to 10 years, you will see just about every major city police department in the country with cameras on their persons because there's so much mistrust in government right now in terms of interactions with people that a lot of places, they want everything videotaped. And then you save it for,
liability there too.
well, what you'd have to do is you save it for, if a person hasn't complained in 30 days and there's no criminal case attached to it, you destroy it. Or because you have to give enough time for somebody to be able to complain. And then the other thing that we would do every once in a while is audit to make sure. Sometimes people don't complain, even though they should complain.
Right.
And I would say if we have an officer that has
Because there's a case I'm working with right now that
Here?
Yes, here in Austin. that happened that I've already referred it to an attorney because we tried to get the police report and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
we just went into a brick wall. So.
Did you send it to me?
No, I did not.
What,
The
did you
guy at the
file a
brick out
complaint?
front?
Yes.
Which one was it?
Just the incident of the guy that was at his home. Something happened next door, and the lady was yelling for help. He went outside next door, to see what was going on. Then the police arrived at the scene, so he went back into his home. And I think my interpretation of what happened
You
was when the
did
police
talk to me
officer,
about that a little
right,
bit,
the
didn't
police
you?
officer came around the corner. I think the police officer thought he was the one that they were coming to respond to, rather than the person next door. And they ended up going into his home, tasing him inside the home. And then when they went inside of his home and tased him, knocked it down. I have pictures of his hand.
Yeah.
His fingers, is totally screwed up.
Did he ever file a complaint?
And they're doing that process right now.
Okay, well, let's see,
So-
let the process take its course,
Right,
see what
right,
happens.
right. So we'll let
The
that.
problem is that we won't have a video inside the house. And that, there again lies it'd be good.
Those are neat little cameras.
Oh, well,
They're going everywhere nowadays.
they're going everywhere, and I think that I really feel that in the next 5 to 10 years, that the public will be, they're
Standard.
demanding them more and more. I think it's gonna be standard.
How do you feel the APD is compared to where you got there, 10 years ago, and where we are
Jesus.
today?
Feels like
Do-
10 years.
Do you feel? Do you feel that?
He's only been there 4 years.
I know, but do you,
6.5 years.
almost 10. Yeah. So do you feel that that?
Is that what you do on your taxes too? Just round down?
That's
Or
my
what?
accountant. She
You round down
she does
30%?
wonderful things. Do you feel that
Big
we're
Brother's
better off?
watching.
We are better off.
Yeah, I
now?
think that, listen, it's really funny is that our complaints have been going down.
Okay.
Here's really funny. If you look at the 5-year anniversary story that they did on the Austin Police Department, in 5 years, we've suspended more officers than had been suspended before. External complaints, which means complaints from the public, are down. Internal complaints, which means complaints that are generated by us, by the organization, are up. To me, that speaks to creating a culture of accountability where we're holding ourselves accountable. And the fact that fewer people are complaining from the public speaks for itself.
Because they're free to talk amongst themselves about issues that are going on and say, hey, this is wrong.
Go ahead.
Who, the public?
No, the officers.
Oh, the officer, oh yeah. Officers, the internal complaints have gone up since I've been here, and external complaints have gone down. External being from the public. I think that speaks volumes. And to this day, the majority of the complaints are, what do you guys think it is, always, with cops? What's the majority of the complaints? Number one complaint,
I have no idea.
rudeness.
Oh, yeah.
Put up
It's
with
not,
so
it's
much.
not, it's not excessive force, it's not.
Well, let
it's
me
not-
share
it's
my
rudeness.
most recent experience.
All
I
right,
guess
put
it's
yours
still,
in there.
I guess it's on video, because it has not passed
How long
30
has it been?
days. Less than 30 days.
Were you driving?
Nope. I walk the trail every morning with my
From your house there.
right in front of my house. This day I decided to take my truck with my dog and finish my coffee. So I was 7:30 in the morning. I see one of our finest pass by me. I said, oh, okay.
I must have recognized you.
No, the mistake I made, and I'll tell you, is that apparently I didn't change the title on the truck that I have now. So anyway, he goes and
Really?
parks
Yeah.
way down there, and there I am, and then all of a sudden, I said, oh, they may have
Facebook friends.
recognized me. So he get off and he says, how you doing? So I said, I'm fine. Well, he says, I happened to pass by here and I ran the plates on your vehicle, and the owner of that vehicle has a warrant for his arrest.
Just happened to run the plates
I
on it.
said,
Oh, so you're gonna
oh,
complain
okay. I
that
said,
you-
well, here's my credentials, here's everything.
No,
He
you didn't.
said,
Did you
well-
hear what you said?
He said, I saw both of y'all's pictures and y'all look the same. I said, well, you know what, officer, I want to commend you. I thank you for that. That's a 30-year difference in who that person is and who
So
I
whose fault was
am.
this?
Huh?
You should have transferred your title right away.
And I said, I just added about, what,
Do they know
not
we're
even 30
Facebook
days.
friends? The people watching, we're not Facebook friends?
Yes, we are.
But
Come on, don't deny it.
Yes, we are.
We don't have to agree on everything.
We
that's
are
going on.
Facebook friends.
But wait a minute.
I actually
wait a
love
minute,
this guy,
wait a
so
minute.
don't
See,
hold it against him. I think he's a great advocate for the Second Amendment.
They cut you off. Hurry up.
No,
Finish
they
up.
didn't
And
cut
we're
me
not
off
gonna
because
have
I'm gonna
universal background
continue
checks.
because it's
But
that kind of
but I still support
approach. It's that kind of approach
Sit
Oh,
down.
it'll come someday.
that's intimidating.
That's the no-brainer. That's going to happen.
Okay, that's
you know-
that's a kind of
So
approach.
what happened? They intimidate you?
No, that's intimidating.
file a complaint, though?
No, I didn't because.
Well, give me the
it wasn't
information.
that
I'll look at
intimidating.
it.
My curiosity was, why did he do that? I mean, I could
What
have.
about people?
Oh yeah, my age probably.
Send
But
me-
anyway,
Probably my
you know,
people
had I
have my
been
party.
someone else, right,
So there's 20-year age.
not
difference.
be tolerant and
Well, send
say,
me the
well,
info.
you
Send
know,
me the-
I
send me the
know,
info,
I know,
buddy.
Art. I'm not gonna make a big thing out of it.
No,
You
send
know,
me
but-
the info. You know what, guys? Let me tell you something.
You got
if,
an
an
easy out
if
button?
an officer is look at first of all, let's give him some credit for what he was doing right.
Right.
He was actually trying to get a guy with a warrant. Okay, he
Right.
did that right. The part of you is being rude. That's not the way to do it. You
Yeah.
get a lot more sometimes with sugar. You know, let me tell you, one of my specialties is interrogation, and I used to pride myself on being able to get confessions from just about anybody. As a matter of fact, I used to be called in by the whole department, and it wasn't by being the mean cop or the bad cop. It was always by being the good cop. And so let's say hypothetically that you're telling me the officer was really rude, didn't approach it well. We don't have to beat him up over the head with a hammer to change the behavior. We have to bring it, and that's what my folks don't understand sometimes. Sometimes we can fine tune an officer. Hey, he's trying to do the right thing, but he's going around it the wrong way. So I'd like to know about this. You send me the info.
Let me share
so I
with
can
you.
look at it.
I'm coming from, and this is
Are we out of time?
maybe this
No.
is why
Oh.
it's probably a little bit
But I want to
different
be sure to touch pot
because
and immigration. Somebody I got to ask these questions.
because that the reason I mention it is because it's having grown up in this community,
Yeah.
having known the relationship between APD and our community.
What's my buddy
You
got all
know,
beat up back in the
even
70s?
though you may not even want to go there, you still have that inner feeling of,
Well,
oh my
because,
God, what's
because you
going to
lived
happen?
it. And what I always
Yeah.
tell my officers is that,
And
listen, when you
it's
look,
real hard, you know.
you
It's
still
difficult.
remember the police in the 60s and 70s growing up as a person of color, especially in the South. And I always tell the officer, listen, when you're dealing with somebody that has lived, we still, as police officers, pay for the sins of our fathers, okay? And they have to understand that. It's not fair, but it is what it is. And I always tell them, you have to understand that sometimes, especially when you're dealing with a person that's lived that, they're seeing that cop that was unprofessional, that was a racist, that was
But
a
all they
bigot.
had was a billy club.
And
Well,
so-
But I do want to say this on your behalf, Chief, that when there has been issues of department violations or whatnot, or an officer has gone beyond his ethics and duties, you have always taken care of it.
No,
Okay.
you
I
try
have
to.
always, well, yeah, and I know that the officer,
Absolutely.
like all employees, have rights and they can appeal and they can go through that
I
process.
wanted to talk about some of these programs that APD does that are so good for the community, but I told the professor I'd ask about immigration.
What professor is this?
One of my people professors, political
Republican.
type.
Is it a real professor, or do they just call themselves the professor?
Well, Austin,
I call him a professor.
Okay.
well, Austin is weird.
Good question.
Let's go to the pot issue.
Wait, it's the professor
yeah,
from
and the
Gilligan's
pot.
Island.
What?
It's a professor from Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
Professor Green.
it's interesting because
All right, go ahead, quick.
because Austin is Austin, right?
Yeah.
Lazy fair, weird.
I
You get
love
all
this.
kinds
The
of folk.
pot comes from
But-
sitting at the bus stop. Can I tell this guy to put his joint out?
Well, but
Because I can't, do
but
that
see,
kind
it's
of-
Yeah, you
it's
could,
interesting
you could.
because Willie, when he had his
Yeah.
inauguration,
It
They all smoking pot out
Pretend
there.
just for about a few minutes that it is illegal.
Yeah, tell us about.
That's what I
can
always
you
tell
actually,
them,
you
Can
know,
you
That's-
do me a favor,
yeah.
just pretend for a few minutes that what you're doing is
It's
But-
illegal.
but that's the discretion. Because again, when Willie did his thing,
Yeah.
everybody there was smoking, and
So
there were
it's
cops,
illegal.
there were policemen there.
You know the problem.
You also had
you
the
sp-
council
how
member
do you
say,
sp-
"I
where-
support." Mike Martinez saying, "I support
we
the
had
passage of marijuana." and all that."
Representative
Wow.
Nate in here talking about weed.
Oh,
And I
yeah,
told him I didn't know
I'm
any
sure
cop
he
that would arrest some old man smoking pot.
You can write them a ticket.
Well,
We actually
Representative
cite,
Nate
we
said
cite
was-
and release for personal use in Austin.
And then,
What do you
Okay.
guys do on
for
420?
example,
When they have that little thing downtown.
What's going on downtown?
They have a little thing downtown on April 20th.
Oh, they all smoke
oh,
pot?
when that-
I don't think
but
so.
but you know,
Do they?
for example,
maybe
at
not.
Pan Am they
Jump
have
in there, you gotta jump.
at
Hey,
Pan Am.
Never
hold
mind,
on.
maybe not.
Okay.
Hey, our confidential informant, Mike Cargill, just told us. Mike Cargill,
You see, I,
send him another $50 this month, will you?
Nice.
You know, Pan
Now I'm
Am,
gonna take a Facebook hit. Great.
at some of the parks, well, most of the
I ain't got
parks,
nothing to do with that, people.
they're not allowed to drink alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay? Pan Am has hillsides on Tuesdays, and I happened to walk up there, and everyone has a right with beer. I went to the officer. I don't think they're park. I think they're all the same now. Park rangers, police.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
park ranger's not police officer.
That's it.
Nonetheless, he's saying there's
There's a police officer, and that's it. I thought they couldn't drink beer.
Right now, right in front of your eyes.
He said, "Well, can you imagine if we were to start enforcing this? Everybody's doing it." I said,
that's
"Oh,
the same
okay."
thing for pot.
I
Is that
said,
you
"Wow."
telling me it's the same thing for pot? We can't start
And
enforcing?
then I get a call from LULAC from a guy that was drinking beer at Fiesta Gardens right there on the table,
Yeah.
having a. It's illegal. He gets a ticket, a $250 fine,
Hey,
and then we go.
$250, my lord, no wonder there's a higher paid cops around.
we don't get that money.
Oh, who does? Never mind.
Let's see.
But
You
anyway.
think him out because he was LULAC, you think?
No. It's just
It's about pets, family pets.
he was there by himself.
Go ahead, Craig. I know you got something to say.
Well,
Is that enough for pot?
One question. Someone wanted to ask, what are we doing
Are
about
we taking questions or something?
what are we doing about family pets? You know, when officers come across a pet,
Shoot them whatever they can, I guess. I don't know.
Listen,
are there anything
Yeah.
other than pulling out the fire?
well, you know what? We just had an officer's arm mauled the other day by a pit bull, and
Here in Austin?
oh yeah, and
Mauled?
I mean, chewed up pretty good by a pit bull. Here's the deal: we have provided additional training. We've changed our policies. We've changed our investigation process because a family pet is not just an animal. I mean, it is. We've all had pets. I mean, my people have pets. And so what's happened is that our shootings involving dogs have been cut in half this year so far. So we've already done additional training. We've already made some policy changes, and our investigation, reporting, and review protocols, they comes up to the chief's office now. Every one of the shootings. The other piece is that there's a program out in Fort Worth that we learned about where they were doing an 8-hour training there, but I just don't have the money or the bandwidth to spend 8 hours on this, especially
You guys
since
getting that $1 million grant from?
so we're doing 4 hours. We're doing a 4-hour block. What million? Which one?
Which one?
The Clean Up Runberg. Which one?
Okay,
Is there
I'm
more than
I'm
one?
sure that the people on
Is there more than
Runberg,
one?
I'm sure the people on Runberg want us to use up that money that's supposed to be for them on more training on. Listen, it is an emotional issue, and it's something that we've dealt with, and that we look at very seriously, and we'll continue to do so. But they're down significantly this year.
Is
Now, I don't-
Romberg a transition issue? Okay, people move in, move out. There's no stability.
Well, Runberg's got some apartment complexes
Well,
that
they had
are
that Motel
problematic.
6 and
We
all
had
that.
that one motel that we actually abated a few years ago. We shut down for a while, and they've had to do some things. It is an issue. It's an economic issue. It is a maybe some of the landlords aren't that responsible issue, but we're hoping that working with UT, the neighborhoods, and the police department, and the different.
Like UT.
They're a think tank here locally. I mean, they're right here locally, and we're hoping they would come up with some long-term strategies to really help that community regain some of its economic vibrancy, and more importantly, its safety. But I think that safety always starts with economic vibrancy, economic opportunities for everybody, especially young men of color. One of the issues that I still think we need to keep working on in our country is, the educational system in our country for dropout rates. I'm still talking a lot. I've been talking to the superintendent, and she agrees with me that we criminalize childhood to a great extent in this country. Bill Clinton gave us 100,000 cops. Remember that?
Well, yeah.
It was. It's the
We
cops
just had to
grant.
pick up the bill for it later on.
Yeah, and so what happened though is there's been a proliferation of law enforcement agencies in schools. I'm a proponent of law enforcement in schools to intervene only when there's a public safety, a physical threat to a kid. When you and I were, you're much younger than me, but when you and I were kids, if I got in a fist fight with somebody, you and I went to, unless somebody died or got
Right.
I'm only
Seriously.
45.
seriously injured.
Right. Seriously.
Yeah, right, huh?
Huh?
said, I'm only 45. I don't know who you look.
You're only 45? Okay, well, when you and I went to school, it was,
No, he
that-
ain't either.
Whoa.
hey, but seriously, that was a disciplinary issue. That was handled with the
That's
counselor,
three
with your
swats.
principal.
Yeah.
But how do
Now-
you do that now?
Now, too many places around this country, especially in inner cities, I don't think it's a problem, a big problem here in Austin, but in other cities, I think it is, where that kid, they call the school district police, hey, that was a battery, now it becomes a criminal referral, and I think we've, to an extent, we've...
We're not giving the parents a chance to correct the problem.
Well, first of all,
Well,
with
what
kids,
parent?
that's kid behavior. I mean, I got in a fight in high school. Some guy mentioned my mother in science to my face, and I punched him right in the face.
Well, I'm
Right,
gonna get
right, boom, right in the jaw. Today, I would have been a misdemeanor because of that. And that's not right.
That's why I blame the Democrat trial lawyers. Liability got into everything. I know you don't like to hear that, but you know, police are really a number one on the liability thing.
Yeah, we do pretty good here. There's a lot of immunities for law enforcement in Texas. Texas has a lot of governmental immunities.
Immunities?
Yeah, a lot of protections for.
Well, you've done 6.5 years.
6.5.
Can you tell us what you have enjoyed and what you have found that you didn't think you would
Well,
find
let's
in
close him
Austin?
out with that kind of stuff. I gotta hit the immigration thing one time.
Well, we'll
You
get
guys
after
hit me with that every day, every year. We have
well,
to.
because see, every time he comes up here, it's always criticizing this man
No, I've
here.
been bragging about
I
it,
want to
helping
know,
out. All right,
but see,
okay.
it's also
No, no, it's all
important.
good.
It's also important to let the community know of programs
Supposed to
that
be
they
talking about these
have
programs.
that help the community.
But if you
and-
pull somebody over, you're not gonna hit them up on their. immigration
Listen,
status.
here's the hypocrisy of the
Okay.
immigration debate. I hate hypocrisy. People always say, "Hey, you need to run for office." No, because I say what's on my mind, and I would tell you what I believe, whether you like it or not. If you like it, vote for me. If you don't vote for me. Okay? We were told 2 sessions ago that the number one threat to the state of Texas was illegal immigration. Do y'all remember that?
That was my people, wasn't it?
I don't know who people it was. All I know.
Republicans, the Republicans.
And listen, and the hypocrisy in our country extends to both sides of the aisle, the Democrats and the Republicans.
I'll agree.
That's right.
I have a real heartburn with the hypocrisy where all they care about really is getting reelected.
Getting reelected.
So they introduced dozens and dozens of anti-immigration bills. How many anti-immigration bills passed in our capital? How many?
Yeah.
Zero. It's all they're all being played. Why? Because immigration, on balance, legal or otherwise, is a plus for our economy.
That's right.
It's
Well,
a plus for our
We
economy.
just had a big trial right here in town, didn't we?
Which one of them?
Somebody had horses.
Yeah, the cartel. The
Are we
Zetas.
having young men illegally enter this country with tattoos on their chest?
Listen.
You know the kind I'm talking about,
We're
right?
talking about the Zetas. We had a huge.
Or the other groups.
And the drug cartels, we have a big challenge here. But we're going after those guys. Whether they're legal or illegal doesn't matter. The only people that the Austin Police Department's not going to after is the guy that's a cook in the back of the restaurant.
Well, I got no problem with those guys.
So what are we trying to fix? You know, I don't have enough guys right now to try to. We have a huge
not- yeah,
issue,
too
a huge issue with property crime in our city because we have a study that shows that we paid $100,000 for as a city that shows we're several hundred cops short. Let's just ignore it. And so the last
They'll
thing,
ask you to do more work, though.
right, the last thing we need is for us to become immigration agents. They go after the nanny. They go after the gardener. They go after the day laborer. They go after the person. To me, the people at Home Depot waiting for you to go pick them up, they pay them 20
They're
bucks
not
an
a
hour.
threat.
If I know they're there trying to get day work, that tells me they're not in your neighborhood while you're at work burglarizing you. So why would I want to mess with those? I don't have the resources.
Ten four.
It's as simple as that. It's hypocritical. We really need comprehensive immigration reform because we're a nation of immigrants. The fiber of this nation that's made it so rich is the fact that we've taken the world's hungry, the world's oppressed. And you know what? My brother has fought in both Gulf Wars. You know, I quit law school to be a cop. We would die for this country if we had to. We love this country, and I think the majority of immigrants feel the same, and that's why it's as messed up as we are, there's no better place on earth, and there's no other place I'd rather be
Yeah,
than
yeah.
the United States of America.
I love it.
right.
I hope
Thank
you,
you,
I hope
sir.
you treat the same way, you feel the same way about gun owners.
I absolutely. What is this thing?
Thank
I'm
you for
a gun
all your
owner.
info.
Now, can I have my?
All right, go ahead.
I'm
Eddie.
joining the NRAs.
I
I'm not
have-
joined. I'm joining, and I'm going
Right.
to go to.
You should join the Texas State Rifle Association.
Yeah.
I will
Texas
join
State
too.
Rifle
With you.
Association.
You sign up
How much is it?
All that money you make.
You told, you know what? Why don't you pay for it? You say you make a lot
All
more
the
than I
money
do.
you
We
make.
can't
you can
talk
afford.
money on
We
the
just
show.
sent you.
Highest paid
We
police
just sent you your
department in
CI check the other day.
All right, hold on.
For the record, I am making that up.
Oh, thank
So,
you.
I'm making that up. So that is
You gotta be
just me
careful
being
what you
funny.
say here.
I know, right?
Yeah, I know.
Someone to believe.
All
They said
right,
that-
Garrido.
No, you're probably right.
I already
Hold on, let
forgot
me
what
do
I
that.
asked him.
Hey, you forgot?
I had one of them Perry moments.
Oh no.
No, you always want to knock my
No,
business over there.
I just wanted to find
Craig.
out.
What
I
F1?
just wanted.
You haven't asked me what F1. That
Well,
one
no, because it's already getting to about 10 minutes late, and
Oh, I
know
just wanted
something
to
about these
find out
programs.
if he had what experience that he have now being here for 6 years.
I've been here for 6.5
Oh, yeah,
years.
6.5
I
years.
absolutely love this crazy city. It is, it is a wonderful place. Sometimes I don't understand how we can be so successful because it's so crazy. But I love it because, you know, we got Michael and I, you know, we actually agree more on Second Amendment issues than we disagree. Other than the universal background checks, I agree on the CHL program being a model.
Right.
I agree that that the answer is not banning firearm systems. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't support that as much as people will lie and tell you I do. Because quite frankly, I think a well-armed community of responsible gun owners is a safe community. But I do believe that we need to do better on keeping it out of the wrong hands. You know, how we do that, we may have a disagreement on. But I think that, I would think that,
But we're gonna work on it because we're gonna work on.
Let's do it.
That issue.
Let's work on it.
The gun store.
that's another great step. That's another
I
great
think
step.
that would be a really good step.
That's another great step. So we will work on that. But what I love about Austin is that it's a melting pot, man. I mean, it's a place that's vibrant, it's safe, it's got a great economy. However, we still have a lot of challenges as a city, and I just hope that as we continue to build these big condos and everything else, we don't forget that we still have a lot of have-nots out there that need help. And right now, the people in Dove Springs, there's a lot of people watching this program
Yep,
that
right now.
have, you know, you have an extra $5, you have an extra $10, you know, send it to the Red Cross and designate it for Dove Springs. They need help. It was devastating what I've seen down in Dove Springs, and they need help. And so if you haven't given, please give.
We showed lots of pictures 2 weeks ago, was it? Was it all,
What we're gonna do is,
Anyway.
what I'm gonna do at Central Texas Gun Works is I'm going to actually get people on Facebook to recommend 10 families, and we're gonna give 10 turkeys to 10 families.
Excellent.
that's an excellent
Thanksgiving.
idea.
That's outstanding.
We can get Robert Kitty and all them to the Dove Springs
Are you
community.
is he a local? Are you a regular on the trailer park now?
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of our sponsors.
He is?
Yeah.
He does make a lot of money.
You know,
So how many six packs do you give him as a
Never.
sponsorship?
Never.
6 packs of
Never.
Coca-Cola.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay, Robert. He says, okay. That's a good idea.
Good idea.
He works with the Dove Springs Neighborhood Association.
Excellent.
So tell Robert to reach out to me. Contact me, Robert.
Just
Contact
call me up, Robert. We'll,
Get my number so he can. I would like to get
that's a good idea. 10 turkeys to
family.
10.
10 families, 10 turkeys.
That's a good idea. I bet you could even get the APD to back it up with an extra 10 for another 10.
Yeah, and yeah.
Well, we've got
I
Blue
think
Santa,
we
Operation
can.
Blue Santa,
We're
and
supposed to talk about these programs you got going
Operation
on.
Blue
but
Santa.
it's
Well, you
got
wanted,
8.5 minutes.
you wanted to talk about pot and
have?
immigration, so.
Well, I had to get the immigration thing in for my professor. And the weed, because the weed is out there.
do you want to? Let me tell you how you know how you
You got to tell us 5830.
Let me tell you, because I haven't been here since Occupy Austin, have I?
No, I don't think
Let
so.
me just say this: that and this I told this to some of the real occupiers out there, some of the real activists. If I was king for a day,
We will send straight to Neighborhood Association. Not to, he said, don't send it to Red Cross. No, never mind.
if I had the ability to make one change, one political change in this country, I would require that every congressional district in the United States of America, every congressional district was carved up where it's 50-50 of registered voters. Where if every district was competitive, you would not politically be able to kowtow to the extremes of either party. People would have to learn to be pragmatic. They'd have to get people together like you, like Michael and I, like on the background issue, or on how do we get guns, keep guns in the right hands, which is the vast majority of Americans, and out of the wrong hands, which is a small percentage that really have no business owning guns or possessing guns. and where people would be forced to find some common sense middle ground. If we had competitive districts throughout the country, instead of both parties dividing up our communities like their own personal fiefdoms, it guarantees them in perpetuity being in Congress, this country would be much better. And that's what we need to, as Americans, demand. They have the ability to do that. That's how they gerrymander on a regular basis. Both parties do it.
gerrymander.
It's wrong. Americans are pragmatic people. Americans are about coming together and working together. and that's not what's happening in our country right now. And I think people are getting tired of it. I know I am.
That is very good, because, you got, it's both parties, and you get certain congressmen there that are millionaires now. How do they make all this money?
Yeah, you have to be
We
rich to run
won't,
for
we
office.
won't talk about some of them that, from the other
Well,
party I know of, but I'm sure we got some
Talking
of my
about
party
that, how have you, well, I'm pretty sure you have looked at in the future and working with 10 council members within a year and a half.
It's going to be
Do
interesting.
you think it's going to be
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting, but, I focus on, and we in the police department focus on doing what we need to do to keep Austin the second safest city as it relates to violent crime. Just keep us safe. It is a growing city that we getting piled on, we're several hundred officers short. Nothing happened. It was ignored. Instead, let's make South by Southwest now about 2 weeks, if not longer. Let's add a second weekend of ACL.
Yeah.
Let's bring the X Games here. Let's bring F1 here. I mean, it just puts a tremendous strain on us.
Now,
And at some point, we need to deal with that.
There, seriously here, there's someone that did bring to my attention this a case of like when there's a call, there's an accident or something like that in Austin. Sometimes they'll see the APD respond with 3, 4 officers rather than that one officer that call really needs.
Well, the problem is you don't know what the call needs when there's a crash with lanes blocked. You've got to control the scene.
Right.
You've got to impound cars.
But if they're all on the shoulder,
So
everything's on the shoulder.
But do you know how many people get killed on shoulders every
Right,
year in
right,
our country? The sooner that we can process that scene, and not only that, what happens when everybody's even on the shoulder?
So if you can just explain how that works.
What happens is, listen, let's face it. There are going to be times that there's too many cops on the scene.
Okay.
You just spelled your name.
And that's oh,
Acevedo.
come on, guys.
Acevedo.
I'm not coming
AC.
back.
Not
anymore.
coming
I'm
back
done.
anymore.
I'm done.
I got it.
I wrote that. I'm sorry.
Are we?
hey,
Why
I'll
are they
take
putting
it
that
back.
up when it's
Blame
six-
it on me.
Yeah, we're still.
So what happens is you want several officers there. Depends how many witnesses you have.
Okay.
The sooner we can clear. Thank you. The sooner that we can clear that scene, the sooner you're going to restore the normal flow of traffic. You won't have all the when you have people rubbernecking and traffic slows down, then you have secondary crashes.
So you honestly feel that the response, how
Well-
many officers are responding to a scene, it does justify that, and it's not too many.
in most cases,
With 3.5 minutes left.
Okay.
but not in all cases. I'll be the
Real
first to
quick,
tell you they don't
I
clear
had a
soon
fender
enough.
bender recently when
Quickly.
it was raining and all
You
that.
had some bad luck.
Yeah, recently.
Yeah,
and
that's it. I'll let you all have
and
that.
I
Hold on,
called,
everybody. I was in the pre-novitiate to be a priest.
but I called.
Be healed. You're
I
good.
called 911 and
Yeah,
I
we were there.
explained to the 911 operator what happened. I was, and then the other
I
driver
get one
was
ticket.
more insistent. I want a police officer. I want a police officer. And then they explained to him, look, do you need an ambulance? No. Is anyone hurt? No.
It was raining. We had a bunch of crashes
Right, and he
pending
said,
with lanes
look,
blocked.
all you do is exchange information.
Oh, yeah.
Let your insurance take care of it. And he was like lost. You're not going to send a policeman?
Craig hadn't got to do it very much here, but I did want to say you're part of the reason for Austin's growth. As I've said before, to sell this city, you need professional fire. Police EMS is one of the sales points.
Thank you, my
And
friend.
you have provided we have professional fire, police, and EMS here in this town.
Thank you. We're not perfect, but
And
we
that's
try.
definitely a sales point.
Well, I mean, if
Austin.
you're not going to move your company to Austin if your employees aren't going to be safe, if your
That's right.
if your customers aren't
You
going
can
to be
put
safe.
up
I
with the
mean,
July and August weather and
Oh,
the traffic
God.
jam.
yeah, but you know what? It's a great city. I do miss LA, but I love Austin.
Craig, you got a minute or two. Throw something in there. I know you haven't had much.
Yeah, I think what Chief is doing is great. You're training your people to serve in their community. You're leading by example. The group of young men that you had out serving the residents of Dove Springs, that'll stick with them forever.
No, we
You know.
hopefully we planted seeds of trust. And,
That's right.
You know, we hire human beings like everybody else. They're going to fall short sometimes.
That's right.
When it's a mistake of the mind, we'll try to help them overcome it. But when it's a mistake of the heart, if they lie, cheat, or steal, or abuse people, we're not going to tolerate it. And anyone really makes me proud. Here's what's changed in the 6.5 years I've been here. You know, I fired an officer the other day for the shooting on airport and
Too late now.
airport and 12th and airport, I think it was.
No, I'm
With
asking if
the
anyone
the
else
gentleman in the
mentioned
pickup
it.
truck.
Right.
When I first got
That
here,
was in that
the
area,
cops
right?
would have been up
Yeah.
in arms. We've changed the culture. My men and
Was
women.
that an incident
you got a
of him
minute and
just
a
being
half.
nervous and being a Smith & Wesson M&P?
It's
and
under
a light trigger pull?
it's under appeal, so I'd rather not talk about the specifics.
Okay,
But here's the deal.
Quickly.
My people have bought into it.
That's right.
They love the
We've done
fact that we have
57
high standards, and they love the fact that they belong to an organization.
We got a minute. I
with
did
high
want to make some
standards.
That's right.
I love my
announcements.
cops.
Next week, District 50, we do have Dr. Vanderwally on.
coming
We
back.
thank the chief for coming on. Yes, sir.
I want to thank Central Texas Gun Works also for being a sponsor of this great show. My good friend Michael Cargill, my Facebook buddy.
Yes, that's right.
yes.
Thank you very much, Chief. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
You really are a
Great
great.
Facebook friends.
Listen, you're a great advocate for the Second Amendment. I call the Second Amendment folks. Some of the advocates. Alex Jones is probably not the best advocate for the Second Amendment. You're a great advocate.
30
I can prove
seconds.
it all! I can prove it all, Chief! I can prove it all! I want you to prove how much money you have in the bank with that shtick there, Alex. That's what I want to know.
10-4 on 20 seconds.
the
Craig's
guy that's
got a
got
show
it.
here. Stay tuned. We'll be back next week, folks. We did appreciate the chief coming on and all he does out there.
Thank you, guys. Merry
All right.
Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we got a Christmas coming up, too.
And Hanukkah
We got
and
that
everything else we
potluck
got.
coming. I'll call your office and give you the dates if you're available.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Potluck.
Tuesday, the 17th.